It's great that this is all starting again. We start in 17 days, which is a great thing. It's great to see all the other sports. Best of luck to everyone this coming fall season. Unfortunately, in the world that we're in a little bit in the fall, we get locked away in all these bubbles so much, and it gets really hard to see other teams compete in the same season that we're in. And so that's maybe one of the biggest drawbacks in certain things. You get a chance to see people and know people on a daily basis, the quality of coaches in this room from a character standpoint. And so I wish you all the best that way. I know they're a really good sponsor and they're a really good company and they do a lot of great things. My predecessor would have told me that this is not a good tie to wear, even though it is a state pride tie. It's got the bison on it and everything that way. He would say that we don't coach at the University of Pepsi. And but I like the tie, and I have a gold one that I think I overwear. So I figured that this would be a little change up today and do that. We're really excited about, kind of where we're at right now. I have two jobs at this university. It's pure and simple. One is to develop student athletes to help them launch a career, and the second one's to win. And we didn't win at the level that we needed to win at a year ago, and so we made quite a number of changes. Some have been very visible, some have been very publicized, many others have not. But one thing that will never change is the culture within the program itself, how we handle our student athletes on a day-to-day basis, the emphasis that we place on doing it right, and achieving a level of excellence. And we define excellence as doing the most common things in an uncommon method, in an uncommon way, with an uncommon persistence and an uncommon discipline. And so we talk about those things. I really like where we're at right now. When we get to Thursday night, we will have had 17 NFL teams come in and watch us practice so far this year. We don't have a player from last year's team that's in an NFL camp right now. And for us to be successful, we have to attract, develop, and retain NFL quality players. And we were able to do that a year ago. And when you have the situation that we were in a year ago, when you lose close games at home, don't have the type of season that you want, and you're able to retain the players that all these people are looking at on a day-to-day basis, I think that puts us in a really good spot, along with the fact that I think this will probably be the most freshmen that will play for us in a season since I've been here, and which is a testament to the group that we brought in that. We will never stop recruiting. We will always try to get it right, get the best player, get the best fit at the University of Wyoming. And we're really excited about getting started. I think we have a really good group leadership-wise. I don't care where we're picked by people who don't know a lot about certain things, and I don't put a lot of stock into that. We got one game at a time. We got one day at a time. We had two scouts there yesterday. One was from the Buccaneers and one was from the Texans. And I asked both of them, we had two incredible practices in a row, Saturday, Sunday, very physical. And I asked the question, I said, you see a lot of practices like this? They're like, Coach, we haven't seen a practice like this in years, especially the one that happened yesterday. And because there was a lot of combat there. And so we were excited about that part of it. Really pleased with the attitude of the team, the development of the team. We have a lot of work to do. We're not even to the halfway point of our number of practices that we'll have before we play a first game. And the reason that we're doing what we're doing Thursday night is I think we have a number of players that are new to the program that I want them to have the feel of a game day. And that is from the time they wake up to everything that we do that day until we put a ball down and start playing at 7:30 on Thursday night. And so, I hope a lot of people show up. But if anybody shows up, it still gives that same feel. And so we're excited about, all those things there. This will be a vastly improved football team. I think that's easy to see to anybody who walks out on the field on a day-to-day basis. So with that, answer any questions.
Jay, you obviously had a kind of an interesting journey to Laramie before you got here. What do you think the last 5 years have meant for you since you came to Laramie?
I love the University of Wyoming. It's been a great, first of all, coming here, working for Craig Bowl at the time that I did, and then also just the people here are tremendous. And part of the things that go with it is the fact that the people here care about football. I think, that does not make it easy when you lose a game, right? Like you wear that, kind of heavy when you don't. I don't really worry about what happens on the outside of stuff because we're always going to be harder on ourselves than anybody else can or will be or anything that way. But I love the fact that this is a university that takes so much pride, and it's a state that takes so much pride in the university. And that's what, like I'd get asked these questions at this media day a couple weeks ago and stuff like that. I'm happy that we're in the Mountain West Conference. I'm happy we're in the Mountain West Conference going forward. And to other places that got, to this other conference that broke off. Look, there's a lot of them. We bring a state on a week-to-week basis, corner to corner, north, south, east, west. It may be the least populated state in the country, but we bring a state. Some people don't even bring their own city. And so we're I'm excited about that. I'm proud of the fact to wear the Steamboat, I guess my bison tie today and everything. But so all those things that way, very excited about it.
Jay, so many new players in the transfer portal, including 47 yourself, which Craig Bull's got to be just freaking out about that number. What do you know about Akron? What are your thoughts on Akron? I don't think we've talked to you about them yet.
I mean, they have a good quarterback. They have a good head coach. They have a good coaching staff. They have some skilled players that will be, that they're excited about and they'll be effective. I think that anytime that you go into any game, anymore in the first games, there's always going to be a number of roster turnover and some things that way. We have some known quantities a little bit offensively, but we have a lot of unknown quantities, throughout the program in certain ways, and they would be no different. But I did, like I said, other than the fact I do know they do have a good quarterback, a good system, good coaching staff, so it presents a big challenge that way.
Coach, when you hear that from those two scouts that you mentioned, being in your own little bubble, kind of just watching your own team kind of limits your perspective. How did it alert you to, the progress that you're making?
Yeah, I think the biggest progress to it was the fact that when, and we had a team meeting last night, covered a lot of things, but when we called everybody up at the end of practice yesterday of a 2-hour slugfest, essentially, everybody to a T was like, I could have went 10 more periods if you wanted. And that, and that's not the norm. There's a lot of guys at a certain point, they're like, they tail off. Our last period was physical through the finish. And, if I would have just sat there and just said, hold the clock and not blown a whistle, I don't know that they'd noticed a thing. And I think that that's a positive sign in that. There's some guys that they'll just play, and I think that that's the thing, that's the area that I think, look, we got done with last year. I felt like I used the Cold Stone Creamery thing, right? Like it, love it, got to have it. All right. There's some people that kind of like it. Some people say they love it. What we're looking for is people who got to have it. And there's some guys that like today's the hardest day of the week for them, that they don't get to play football because we're not practicing today. And so I like that part.